Welcome to today's episode of Public Utility Innovations. I'm David Miller, your host. Today, we're exploring a fascinating framework that's transforming how small water utilities operate. We're talking about the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, and how it can help these organizations become more data-driven. Joining me today is water utility management expert, Dr. Sarah Thompson. Welcome to the show, Sarah.
Thanks for having me, David. I'm excited to discuss how the EOS framework can bring significant improvements to small water utilities, especially as they face increasing challenges in today's environment.
Let's start with the basics for our listeners. What exactly is the Entrepreneurial Operating System, and why is it relevant to water utilities?
Great question. The Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS, is a comprehensive business methodology originally designed for entrepreneurial companies in the private sector. It provides a complete set of simple tools that help organizations clarify their vision, build better teams, resolve issues, execute with discipline, and create traction toward their goals. What's fascinating is that while EOS was developed for businesses, its principles are remarkably adaptable to small water utilities, which often struggle with limited resources, aging infrastructure, and complex regulatory environments.
That's interesting. Small water utilities face unique challenges compared to private businesses. Could you elaborate on some of these challenges they're dealing with?
Absolutely. Small water utilities are facing a perfect storm of challenges right now. They're dealing with aging infrastructure that requires significant investment to maintain and upgrade. There's also increasing regulatory pressure that demands compliance with ever more stringent water quality standards. Many utilities are experiencing workforce challenges, with retirement waves and difficulty attracting new talent. And perhaps most critically for our discussion today, there's often a lack of structured management approaches and data-driven decision-making processes.
Those are significant challenges. So, how does EOS specifically help address these issues? I understand it has several key components.
That's right. EOS is built around 6 key components that work together as an integrated system. These are vision, people, data, issues, process, and traction. Each component addresses different aspects of organizational management and development. For water utilities specifically, implementing EOS means adapting these components to the public sector context while maintaining their core principles.
You mentioned data as one of the core components, and we know our focus today is on becoming more data-driven. How does EOS approach data management for water utilities?
The data component is truly transformational for water utilities. In the EOS framework, it's about establishing a small set of measurable numbers that provide an absolute pulse on the organization. For water utilities, this means identifying 5 to 15 key metrics that provide real-time insight into operational performance. These might include water quality parameters, production efficiency, financial metrics, customer service levels, and infrastructure status indicators.
So it's about focusing on what truly matters rather than drowning in data.
Exactly. Many utilities collect mountains of data, but struggle to use it effectively for decision-making. The EOS approach helps them identify what we call scorecard metrics, those vital few indicators that truly matter for strategic decisions. By regularly reviewing these metrics in leadership meetings, utilities can spot trends, identify problems early, and make informed decisions rather than relying on gut feelings or reactive management.
I can see how that would be valuable. How does this data-driven approach fit with the other EOS components?
That's where the beauty of the system lies. Everything interconnects. The vision component establishes clear goals and direction, which informs what data you need to track. The people component ensures you have the right team with clear responsibilities for data collection and analysis. The issues component provides a structured approach to addressing problems revealed by the data. Process helps standardize operations based on data insights, and traction ensures accountability for using data to drive improvement. It's a holistic system.
Let's talk about implementation. How would a small water utility begin implementing EOS, particularly the data-driven aspects?
Implementation is a step-by-step process that typically takes 18 to 24 months to fully realize. For water utilities focusing on becoming data-driven, I'd suggest starting with these key steps. First, create an accountability chart, clarify who's responsible for what, especially regarding data collection, analysis, and reporting. Then, establish your scorecard, those 5 to 15 key metrics I mentioned earlier. Begin regular leadership team meetings with a structured agenda that always includes reviewing the scorecard data. And finally, set quarterly priorities that are directly linked to improving those metrics.
That sounds practical. Are there specific challenges water utilities face when transitioning from the private sector EOS model?
Yes, several important adaptations need to be made. Public utilities operate under different constraints than private businesses. There's the political context, public accountability requirements, and often more complex stakeholder relationships. Budget cycles are different, with annual appropriations rather than market-driven revenue. Decision-making typically involves more consensus building and public input. And performance metrics need to balance efficiency with public service obligations. It's not just about profit and loss.
How do these public sector realities affect the data component specifically?
Great question. For public water utilities, the data component needs modification in several ways. First, metrics should include both operational efficiency and public service effectiveness, things like affordability indexes and equity measures that might not be priorities in the private sector. Second, data transparency requirements are typically higher, as the public has a right to understand utility performance. And third, data must support compliance reporting to regulatory bodies, which is often more extensive than private sector reporting.
Let's dig deeper into becoming truly data-driven. What does this transformation look like for a water utility that may be currently operating in a more reactive mode?
Moving from reactive to proactive data-driven operations is a significant culture shift. It starts with leadership commitment to making decisions based on evidence rather than intuition or tradition. Then utilities need to invest in appropriate data collection systems, which doesn't necessarily mean expensive new technology, but rather purposeful collection of the right data. Regular data review sessions become critical, where teams analyze trends and proactively identify issues before they become crises. Over time, this creates a culture where staff at all levels ask, "What does the data tell us?" before making decisions.
Are there common pitfalls or resistance points utilities should be aware of when implementing EOS?
Absolutely. The biggest challenge is typically cultural resistance. We've always done it this way thinking can be particularly entrenched in long-established utilities. There's also the fear of accountability that comes with clear metrics and responsibilities. Resource constraints are real. Small utilities may feel they don't have time for new management systems when they're focused on daily operations. And there can be data overwhelm, where teams collect too much information without clear purpose. Successful implementation requires acknowledgement of these challenges and strategies to address them.
How do you recommend addressing these implementation challenges?
The key is starting small and demonstrating wins. Begin with a pilot approach. Perhaps focus on just one department or one problem area. Involve staff in selecting metrics so they have ownership. Celebrate early successes loudly to build momentum. Provide training and support for new data analysis skills. And perhaps most importantly, leadership must model the behavior by consistently using data in their own decision-making processes. When staff see leaders referring to the scorecard metrics before making decisions, it sends a powerful message.
Do you have any examples of small water utilities that have successfully implemented EOS and become more data-driven organizations?
While I can't name specific utilities, I've seen several success stories with common patterns. One small utility serving about 15,000 people implemented the scorecard component focused on infrastructure maintenance. By tracking key metrics like preventative maintenance completion rates and response times, they reduced emergency repairs by 40% within a year, saving significant costs and improving service reliability. Another utility used EOS to address workforce challenges, tracking metrics like training hours and certification progress, which helped them develop internal talent and reduce dependency on expensive contractors.
Those are impressive results. As we wrap up, what final advice would you give to water utility leaders considering implementing EOS to become more data-driven organizations?
I'd say three things are essential for success. First, recognize that this is a journey, not a quick fix. Be prepared for an 18 to 24-month implementation process with continuous refinement thereafter. Second, focus on people as much as systems. The best data framework won't work without staff buy-in and capability. And finally, maintain balance. Don't let the pursuit of perfect data prevent action, but also don't revert to purely intuitive decision-making when faced with challenges. The goal is informed, evidence-based management that still respects the unique public service mission of water utilities.
Excellent insight, Sarah. I believe our listeners now have a much clearer understanding of how the EOS framework can help small water utilities become more data-driven organizations. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today.
It's been my pleasure, David. I'm passionate about helping these essential public services modernize their operations while staying true to their core mission of providing safe, reliable water to their communities.
To our listeners, if you found today's discussion valuable, please subscribe to Public Utility Innovations for more episodes on modernizing essential services. Until next time, I'm David Miller, wishing you clear data and sound decisions.